Federico Rosano was born in Chile to a Christian family. Intelligent and charismatic, he could talk his way into almost any situation, but poverty hardened him, and instead of building a righteous life, he chose darkness. Rosano sold his skills to international traffickers, becoming one of the world's most reliable suppliers of women to buyers in Russia, Asia, Africa, and Latin America. There was just one market he had never cracked: the United States. American women, he believed, were too protected and too hard to reach. But Rosano was determined. He needed a disguise that gave him access to trust, secrecy, and power. So he invented a new identity. Father Federico, a reverend at St. Michael Baptist Church in Newcastle, armed with forged documents and weapons to secure his position, he built a false reputation as a holy man. For 6 months, no one suspected a thing. He preached, offered prayers, donated to charity, and was soon celebrated as the town's most generous philanthropist. Parents came to him for praying during the kidnapping, not realizing he was the same man orchestrating the disappearance of their daughters. Behind church walls, Rosano and his accomplices, whom he appointed as deacons and priests, lured young women into private meetings. The victims, ages 15 to 45, were drugged, beaten, and taken to a hidden warehouse deep in the forest. The compound had no cell service, no traceable signals, nothing that could alert authorities. By the time families reported the women missing, they were already locked away. Others endured the same fate, stripped of dignity as they awaited transport by sea to wealthy buyers overseas. The network grew until Rosano held nearly 100 women. But Rosano's success carried a hidden flaw. One of the supposed buyers was actually an undercover CIA agent embedded in the trafficking circuit. The agent relayed critical intelligence to Washington, but the stakes were higher than anyone realized. Some of the buyers were linked to Asian senators and Russian officials. A wrong move could trigger an international crisis. To avoid suspicion, the CIA formed a covert strike unit known as the Cleopatra's Division. These women are manipulative and seductive. They could attract men. They also have battle IQ, with great combat skills. Operating entirely off the record, the team infiltrated the forest compound under the cover of night. They could not rescue everyone without exposing the mission, but they freed 20 women, including Nurse Mary. When Rosano's men discovered the breach, he ordered them to track down and kill the escapees. The CIA, anticipating this, staged a cover-up. They slaughtered cattle, scattering remains that would appear to be human. When the evidence was presented, Rosano believed the women were dead, a deception that bought the survivors time and safety. Federico Rosano remained convinced he had silenced his victims. What he did not know was that the United States was already closing in, preparing to expose the preacher's mask and bring down one of the most dangerous trafficking networks in the world. By the time the CIA began closing in, Federico Rosano had already gone national. He wasn't just hiding behind a priest's robe anymore. He had built an empire across America. From New York to Los Angeles, Rosano had established secret units, fake charities, recruitment agencies, warehouses that operated under the radar. His new target? 1,000 women. That number would make him rich beyond measure. The buyers, powerful men from across the world, were desperate. They were men driven by fantasy and obsession, willing to pay any price for American women. To them, it wasn't just business. It was a twisted kind of desire. But Rosano had a problem. He could only hide behind his priestly image for so long before suspicion grew. So he did what no one expected. He announced his retirement from priesthood. The town celebrated him. They called him a saint, a man who had given his life to God and now deserved peace. No one realized they were blessing a monster. Once out of the church, Rosano reinvented himself. An ordinary man, a businessman, a man with friends in every corner of power. He befriended police chiefs. He threatened politicians. He bribed officials. Every move tightened his grip on the system. By then, he was untouchable. But the CIA wasn't giving up. After the rescue of 20 women from his forest compound, the agency decided to go further. They expanded their covert strike unit, the Cleopatra Division. This division was unlike anything the agency had ever built. Its recruits were not ordinary agents. They were survivors, women who had escaped Rosano's trafficking network. They had every reason to fight back, every reason to bring him down. The CIA trained them in intelligence, infiltration, and emotional control. They learned how to charm their enemies, disarm danger, and neutralize threats without leaving a trace. They turned pain into precision, fear into focus. These women became the agency's most unpredictable weapon, striking from the shadows, using beauty and wit as their cover. And while Rosano built his empire, confident that no one could stop him, the Cleopatra division was already preparing to end his reign. Watch out for more.